Let us play what is happening. We're talking about the shortage of blood. Look at this, Jamaica.
The country needs approximately 60,000 units of blood annually, but only around 30,000 units are currently being collected.
Currently, we are meeting approximately 50% of the demand. We need 2% of the population to donate once per year. Imagine that, once per year.
This is a significant shortfall that continues to endanger lives and strain the healthcare system.
We all know that blood is always in short supply because we need blood for everything, whether it's doing a surgery, whether it's accidents, trauma, or just regular illnesses. Most of them from complications from non-communicable diseases. You need blood to save a life, and most times you need an emergency situation.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton highlighted the urgency of the situation. He says 4 parishes still lack a blood collection center. However, he says the ministry is putting plans in place to urgently address this gap.
Those parishes are St. Thomas, St. Mary, Hanover, St. Elizabeth. And I'd like to see all parishes have a blood collection point of reference. And I'm going to be meeting with the team to mandate that they put that in place for the investigators. So at least we have coverage. We have 11 stations across the country currently. We need at least 4 more to get up to 15, maybe even more. So that we can partner more and we can have more frequent calls, and that in terms of proximity and access, we don't have a barrier to persons who want to give.
But the stigma surrounding blood donation remains a major barrier to achieving the national target.
I think education is important, more sensitization, using the various media platform. I think if persons fully understand the extent of blood donation and why they donate in the blood and how they themselves can benefit from this same blood that they donated, I think the attitudes would change.
They were speaking at a national blood drive hosted by the Kiwanis Club over the weekend.
So can you imagine the country has an urgent crisis of blood shortage? Lisa 6, that is such a ignorant response. How people going to give blood and so many people have AIDS. Jamaica doesn't have a high influx of HIV.
What can go so?
In certain parishes, Lisa 6, there might be an increase in HIV cases, but that doesn't mean that the country is filled with HIV and AIDS. Absurd reasoning. But the country is significantly short. We are to have about 60,000 units of blood. We are to have about 60,000 units of blood, and we're producing half of that yearly, Courtney.
Good night, students.
They are producing, Jamaica. We are actually having an intake of less than 30,000. Jamaica, this is a serious crisis. And whilst the Ministry of Health have so many campaigns going on, they should equally have a solid incentivized campaign, Courtney, for healthy people to come and give blood.
Exactly.
And if people are to give blood, you compensate them, Courtney, for giving blood.
Of course.
Isn't that a good argument?
Of course.
If we need to get to 60,000 units of blood, Don't you think, just as how they can compensate you for foolishness in this program, that should have been called the National Health Solidarity Program?
Yeah, then 5,000 I give.
So the 5,000, the 15,000, Courtney, the 20,000, what them giving away to people. If you are healthy and you can give blood, come in and get a $10,000. Wouldn't you give blood, Jamaica? I'm going to ask again. If we need blood, healthy blood, and there are many healthy Jamaican people, why then can't blood collection blitz, we could call it? Why then, Jamaica? Why then can't they say she want $10,000 a year?
People are going
So if you do fit do, that's the argument, Tufton. Do fit do, I better question if they were giving the Jamaican people compensation rather than take up poor people money and talk about solidarity. Here your people are going to say blood giving it should be voluntary. But if it not, if half of the country not going to give it, Jamaicans are suffering, and it must be practical in this country. And it must be practical in this country. You can't hungry and give blood. You have to be healthy. And you won't sell the blood. It is a, what you would call it, Courtney?
Stipend.
It's a stipend.
Of course. They would have gone up.
Jamaica, who agree with me tonight?
They get 10,000.
If you get $8,000, Courtney, if you get $10,000,
full up.
I am sure a morning.
Blood bags are full up, honestly.
I am sure a morning, Jamaica, blood bank would have full.
They're full up, man.
And them would have said, Courtney, them have too much instances and cases. Even give one stipend, Jamaica. $1,500 or $1,600 or $7,000. For bus fare and lunch money. Just as how we know, that was how the people them did I get the transport for come at the demonstration. Who agree with me reasoning today? Encouragement sweetens labor.
Yeah. Encouragement sweetens labor.
And you all know that Jamaicans don't do anything for free in this country.
No.
The moment it becomes transactional, Courtney. And my views are not the views of anybody. This is my personal reasoning, Jamaica. There is 50% shortage of blood. If there is a 50%, remember they must get 60,000 units, Courtney. Yeah. And we're only getting 30,000 units or less.
And blood needed.
And blood is needed.
Of course.
Because we have crises in our hospitals. So all me I said tonight, Jamaica, we must be practical and we must be pragmatic in solutions in this country. We complain, Gladys, is not buying blood. But enough of the poor, healthy people them do not have the bus fare or the lunch money. So give them something so that them can go there and say, see one stipend here. You'd be surprised that the crisis we have today will be crisis no more. The crisis we have today, people in the United States, I'm being told, Jamaica, that even in the United States, if you give my blood, you'll get like a 20 USD, you know.
Get something.
And I am sure in the United States, Courtney, Hear them say in Florida them give you $100 to donate. You're there.
$100,
That's $16,000.
Jamaican. $100.
Sometimes I do it in the United States and everything them do over the United States we follow. I am saying to them tonight. I am simply saying to them tonight. The money where you take up go give us free money as solidarity. No so. I talk about you give. How much time say them I give 20,000, 50,000? Go and help. Go and give the people of the land. So that they can keep themselves healthy. Buy up them nice nutritious meals. And go deal with them situation. Nourish them by the Courtney. Go buy up some yam and sweet potato. Cook some soup. Get some kidney and liver. But all they want to do is give her this free money. Is that free money business mash up the country?
Of course.
If they can't spend 31 million pound one drill.
One drill. We don't cost so.
Drink up your beetroot, not so Courtney.
Of course.
Drink up your beetroot. Do fi do, we say Jamaica. Do fi do in this country.
Mix up.
And we must make this go viral tonight. If it is a case, Jamaica, that there is a significant shortage of blood in the island. 50% down, you know. The solidarity program that they were going to take the money to go give it to people. Make would have a solidarity for healthcare. Do fi do tonight, Jamaica. Do fi do. I'm going to tell Operation Tufton what? Operation Tufton. Operation Tufton. Just listen out tonight. And as I talk about blood shortage, there is also a baby shortage on the island.
Yes.
There is a significant baby shortage on the island.
Ladies, they're not get pregnant now.
Down at Jubilee, where them said them would have 300, them would have 500 children being born each year. Jubilee, Victoria Jubilee is saying it's less than 300. In less than 300. But Courtney, can people really afford to have baby in this time?
No.
How much for a pack of Pampers?
You don't know about
Pampers. Baby feeding. Wipes. Baby clothes. Baby maintenance.
Baby hungry.
Then can't get the pit them no syrup, you know. Can't get the pit them no syrup.
Teacher me yourself, you know.
But you have parents out there who are suffering so bad that they're not eating healthy. So the children who are even being born are undernourished.
Can't breastfeed. Bag juice. Now make the porridge, you know.
Can you imagine Jamaica?
So we will resolve that.
How we can resolve that one?
Yes.
I will give Dr. Dawes a personal call about this.
So the population are going to lessen, you know.
But the population being less can also be better for us. Because with a less population, the scarce benefits and the resources, less people to get them. So there will be an improvement in healthcare, an improvement in education, I'm not going to let me leave the argument there. So Mm. Somebody say, Andre, you sure they're not selling the blood overseas? The blood that is being carried in people giving, because blood plasma is very important. What a bangarang tonight.
Listen. Sell it.
Are you sure they're not selling the blood overseas? Andre, we can't afford to have babies. Plus, some of us women suffer from PCOS and endometriosis, and no support is given by this government. Everything is 100% on us. A lot of women are suffering from endometriosis and fibroids.
Fibroids, yeah. Lead up to cancer.
But I am telling you, baby shortage is a big thing now in the island. But Jamaica's ever had struggles from independence till now. But you realize in the last 9 years, baby are short. Baby are short now because things really, really bad. You remember you'd have walk around and see all the teenagers, they might breed up plenty. Teenagers not even not breed again. No, it's not that they're not breeding or becoming pregnant, but there's a lot of abortions happening. You heard what I said to you? Abortions on the land are plenty, Courtney.
Just like Jackie.
Just as how jacket plentiful,
Yeah.
abortions on the land plentiful. But also, this requires a serious government intervention. This requires Jamaica's serious government intervention. I believe I will want to discuss this with some health practitioners, how we can repopulate the country.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to hear my ideas tonight. And you know, people say these days pitney on a pension is true.
And I lie.
You remember one time mothers would have 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because that was a way of getting security. These days, not happening anymore. And all
ball out. Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help.
And also Jamaica. The men in this country are not developing. That's another argument, you know. The men in this country are having significant sperm shortage, Courtney. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. But it is true. Not just the tight pants kisu, but the boom and the rum, giving them little to no firm erection that them can shoot. Low sperm count, Courtney.
Hey.
Very low sperm count.
Blood now pump right.